So for the main rule, well, if you guys don't know, a hackathon is basically just creating something, usually development-wise, like with programming, etc., and in a specific framework. So here, our main rules are you must make use of our web services API, specifically the text generation. And we're currently hosting the Llama 3 8 billion parameter models. And if you fork off another project on GitHub, you should at least please make a note of that. And the languages that we'll mainly be judging and that you should be using are JavaScript and Python, with some exceptions, like you can use other things in your project and tools. But most of the judges are familiar with these languages, so it would be preferred to use these. And yeah, of course, teams are allowed. So the hackathon is planned to begin today after this presentation ends, and there'll be a new Discord channel up for that where you can submit your projects along with a list of your team members and whatnot. Depending on, we may postpone the start date to tomorrow. We just want to get a good number of how many people are taking part. And
sorry for interrupting you, Jojo. Do we have an application process aside from this, or are we just hoping people in the audience will volunteer? I'm out of the loop a bit. I just didn't know if we had some kind of application for people to join.
Yeah, so I was gonna post a Google form into the Hackathon channel once this presentation is over.
Okay, perfect. And we can post that on x.com as well, maybe. But just a thought.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
No, all good, all good. So yeah, those are the main rules. Just out of curiosity, does anyone have any questions about the rules or anything?
I have a few questions, yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so the hackathon is limited to the models that are being hosted and consuming the APIs which are being published. Is that limited to that?
Yeah, that's correct.
And so basically, the expectation is teams can build their own front end to consume the APIs with a defined model. So there's no scope in terms of hosting any custom models.
Yeah, that's correct. So with our existing models that we're hosting.
Okay. So actually need to come up with some use cases, right? In terms of how we can use this. So yeah, I'll have to do some assessment.
Yeah. So it's basically a text gen API at the moment. So yeah, even if you want to fork off an existing project and add some interesting twist on it, that's also welcome. But yeah. If there's no other questions, I'll just go on ahead.
Quick questions. Is it? Do you think it would be okay if someone combined image gen, like if they made a text gen app or front end, and then they somehow combined image gen with it? Is that out of scope if someone were to do that, or are we just going to relegate it to text generation only?
Yeah, no, that's in scope. Like it just has to include using our API. Text gen is currently the easiest at the moment, so if they do make use of image gen, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
Yeah, but yeah. Okay, now for the good part, the prizes. So we want to give away prizes for first, second, and third place after all the judging is done. And first place wins 5,000 AIPG, and second place is 2,500, and third place 1,000. Along with this, winners will also receive priority access to our API for the rest of the year. So just to explain that a bit, how our API works is it's obviously an incentivized system for GPU users to host their models, and other users make use of that. So there's obviously queuing and stuff involved, and sometimes you'd have to wait in a queue if you want to get access. But with priority access, you'd basically be put in the front of the queue, and you'd basically always be guaranteed quick access to the API.
Sorry, I lost you there. You said something about custom models. Would you mind repeating? Sorry about
Oh, no, I was just explaining like how the grid works. So basically, GPU users can host models for other users to make use of through our API. And so that obviously results in like queuing and stuff. But they won't be able to host any custom model. They'll have to host models, like a list of curated models that we provide, if that makes sense.
Yep. Okay, perfect.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you haven't really used our API. So I just wanted to spend a bit of time just giving you guys a quick introduction to how our API works, specifically for text generation, since that's the main focus of this hackathon. And you can find our existing API docs over here on this webpage, but I'm just gonna go through it in Postman just to show you how to run the different API calls. And in about, well, later today, our new webpage will be up and running, which will have a better API doc. But we'll post that all in the Hackathon channel. So I'm just going to open up Postman here. And over here are some calls on how to get text generation working. So this is basically a stats call. If you just want to see what models are being hosted at the moment. So currently the main one we have up and running for today, or at least for the hackathon, is the Llama 3 8B instruct model. And this is kind of how you use it to make an inference call. So basically what we have is, this is the endpoint that you're going to have to hit. The base URL is api.aipowergrid.io. And then you're going to go v2 generate text async, and it's a post request. And basically the structure of your body is going to be your prompt, the model you wish to use in this format. So currently this is the model that you're going to put in, and then just some extra parameters. And that the usual stuff like your context length, temperature, top P. There's a list of others that are on the API docs if you want to fine tune those a bit, but this is a basic setup. So I'm just going to give it a prompt. Okay, so I'm going to send this through. And our model works a bit differently to other APIs like the OpenAI API. So where that one gives you a direct response, ours is a bit of a polling API. So it doesn't give you a response directly, but an ID. and you can take that ID and use it in the polling call. So I'm just going to take that, and in the get generation status call, you'll put your request ID at the end of your endpoint, just like that. And there's no body for this request, just a get request. And it will basically give you the answer for your generation. If there's a queue and a lot of people are using the API, then this will just give you more information regarding that, like how much longer you need to wait and your queue position. But in this case, nobody's using it at the moment, so it gives us a direct answer. And this is the answer to our prompt. So yeah, does anyone have any questions on this? Okay, cool. If there's no questions, then that's pretty much it regarding information on the hackathon. This was just a quick introduction, but a detailed breakdown will be posted when the channel is up and running. And then, yeah, I look forward to seeing how many of you sign up and what the final submissions are like. Basically for the submissions, we just want a link to the GitHub of the project, and ideally maybe a short video, a screen share, just of you running your project and maybe explaining what it's about, but a quick screen share should be good enough.